The beach, it's all about the sun, the sand and the surf. There's a dynamic energy flowing through it. And whenever you think of the beach, images of tanned, chiseled bodies with sunny dispositions come to mind. Now the Elantra used to have that. It used to have exactly those traits. A chiseled, sculpted body with a very cheerful nature. It brought Hyundai a lot of adulation and success. And now there's a refreshed Elantra, completely new. But does it continue to have a cheerful nature? In a relatively weak segment, does the new Elantra continue to have that sunny disposition needed to brighten up that segment? I'm in Mahabalipuram to drive this, the all-new Hyundai Elantra, and see just what it has to offer. Now the dimensions of the Elantra have changed by a very small margin, 5 to 10 mm where length and width are concerned. Of course, it's longer and wider than the previous generation Elantra. But the height, the overall height, well, that's 5 mm lower than again the previous generation Elantra. But interestingly, the wheelbase hasn't changed. It's 1700 mm and that is exactly the same as the previous generation Elantra, which means the interior space on offer is absolutely the same, at least the space that you get in between the four wheels. Now, a lot of changes inside the car have taken place. It definitely feels a lot more luxurious. It feels a lot more spacious with generous amounts of knee room, shoulder room, leg space as well, both for the front and the rear passengers. And comfort levels, well, quite impressive. Again, one concern with the Elantra, of course, is because of its coupe-like form. Ingress and egress at the rear, and of course seating space in the rear as well, is of question, because once you sit inside, you feel that the roof would probably get a little claustrophobic. But let me assure you, and I'd like to show you now, that there really isn't a problem. Ingress, egress is a bit of an issue because of that low sloping roof line. But otherwise, once you're sitting inside, well, nothing at all to worry about. I think Hyundai have managed interior space very smartly indeed, and I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of that and enjoy, of course, the benefits of that redesigned interior package. Now, let's see how that space fills up at the rear. Well, now that I've pulled over, let me show you what I was talking about. And here's the space. As you can see, there's a lot of knee room inside over here. 3 people can sit very comfortably. If 2, well, you can always drop down the armrest and well, luxuriate in the rear seats over here. And then there's the crucial headroom. So yes, there's just about enough headroom for you. One fist well, fits in between my head and the roof line. Hyundai has very smartly been able to manage this because of the angle of the seat back. As you can see, it's a very steep angle. So when you sit inside, you're well already luxuriating in this cabin. Again, you've got aircon vents to cool you down. I think it would have been nice to have probably audio controls that would have taken the well the premiumness level to a whole new level, for that matter, to a whole new plane. But nonetheless, this is still a very comfortable cabin to be in, irrespective whether you're driving the car or you're being driven in it. Hyundai is offering the Elantra with a choice of 2 engines. One petrol, one diesel, and both of these have been offered from the time of launch. Now, both of these engines are mated to both an automatic and a manual transmission. So you've got an automatic and a manual petrol, and you've got an automatic and a manual diesel as well. Now, the petrol is called the new engine, or the NU. That's how it's spelled. And it's an all-new engine, of course. It's never been seen in India before, and the first time it's making an appearance in our market and in the Elantra as well. Now, this is a higher displacement engine than the previous 1.8 litre petrol that was there in the Elantra. It displaces 2000 cc, makes about 152 PS of max power with 196 Newton meters of max torque. And this engine is going to be, well, of course, one of the highlights for Hyundai in the current environment, considering the amount of well, scrutiny that diesels are going under at this moment. So, of course, Hyundai will be trying to push this petrol engine very strongly, and that's the car that I'm driving at the moment. It's the petrol engined Elantra with the 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, it's a very linear, very smooth engine, very refined as well, absolutely no issues with it. Power comes on very quickly, instantaneous responses for that matter. And I like the transmission as well, especially when it's put into sport mode. Now, the Elantra offers 3 driving modes. There's the Eco, Normal and the Sport mode. And in Sport mode is when the transmission feels the nicest. Very, very linear, very responsive. Changes, the upshifts are instantaneous and still very smooth. You just don't feel that progression from third to fourth or fourth to fifth. There never is a surge of power. It's very linear. So I do like that transmission most of all. As for the diesel, again, the standard 1.6 litre diesel common rail direct injection with a variable geometry turbocharger, and this engine, of course, it's not new to the Elantra. It's already available in several models from Hyundai in India. The previous generation Elantra, the current generation Creta, and now, of course, in the all-new Elantra as well. You get about 120 PS of max power, but there's an enormous 260 Newton meters nearly of torque on offer. Again, drivability is fantastic in the diesel, and ideally, if you're the kind who's going to be driving long distances, especially out of station, and want a car or want a sedan for that reason, the diesel one is the option to go in for. I think it's a phenomenal engine, does extremely well as well. The all-new Elantra, the suspension and the chassis is almost the same as what it used to be before, but minor tweaking has made the suspension setup a little stiffer than what it was before. And of course, what this results in is better ride quality. It's extremely plush. I must say I'm very impressed with the ride quality of this car. Whether it's urban areas or out on the highways, I don't think you will feel any sort of discomfort whatsoever. It's also fairly stable, but there is a bit of body roll in this. I really wouldn't recommend you pushing this car too hard anywhere. Sit back, relax, enjoy the drive. The steering, well weighted, there's enough of weight, and it's quite precise. But again, it's an electronically controlled unit, so it does not have the precision that you would want it to be. Slight bit of vagueness. Nonetheless, still a safe and confident car to drive in almost any condition. And I think that's one brilliant aspect about the Elantra. The previous generation Elantra also was a good car to drive around at leisure or when you wanted to enjoy driving. And the current generation Elantra, also this new Elantra, carries those same virtues forward. Hyundai's cars have always been feature-packed, and the Elantra is no exception. It comes with tons of comfort, convenience and safety features. I like the new touchscreen on that, works brilliantly. And the big advantage, of course, over here is that it's also got manual configuration buttons placed just below that screen. So not everything is touchscreen entirely. You can choose to use the touchscreen or choose to use the manual buttons, whichever you find yourself most comfortable with. You've got individually selectable climate control modes as well, so both front passengers can select different temperature settings. All the controls for audio and telephone connectivity can be found on the steering wheel as well, and as well as the cruise control functions. Again, safety is a big talking point with Hyundai, and Hyundai in recent years has gone out of their way to provide as many safety implements in their cars as possible. The Elantra gets 6 airbags, that's both driver passenger airbags and curtain airbags. There's ESP, there's ABS, and there's traction control. So I think these cars come fully equipped to give any owner that peace of mind and confidence that you would need from a large, powerful luxury sedan. So to answer the question that I asked at the beginning of this segment, can the all-new Elantra brighten up the entry-level executive premium sedan segment? Well, I'm not convinced it can. Now, this is a good car. It looks good and handsome on the outside. It's got a great interior package, nice engines, both petrol and diesel, good fuel efficiency, good performance, good ride comfort as well. Lot of safety features on board and lot of comfort and convenience features on board as well. But it does not raise the bar in that sedan segment. Not at least like the Creta did for the SUV segment, and for that matter, I don't think this can change the fortunes of that sedan segment. It's a good car, great to invest in. A comparison test will tell us whether it's truly better than the Corolla and the Octavia, especially its principal competitors in the segment. But for now, I think the Elantra, will have to work really hard to establish its footprint back again in this premium sedan segment.